But it's not possible. How's that possible?
There's a perception filter all around the door. Sensed it last time I was here. Should have seen it.
That's a whole room. That's a whole room I've never even noticed.
The filter stops you noticing. Something came here a while ago to hide. It's still hiding, and you need to uncuff me now.
Hi, welcome to Moments with Mimi. And today we're going to talk about how to stay out of Zombieland and look at life subjectively and stay there. and that is, the goal. And Neville, a lot of people get to Neville Goddard, and he's shared with you that he was born again and he was called up, and the two became one, and how beautiful it was. And what he did, and he shared that the brothers, he asked the brothers, why was I called? And the brothers told him, because you could change states of consciousness like that. It wasn't because he finished the road. Okay? And Neville was shown the rest of it. And he shared all that. But we're living it. And not being shown it. So we're living in the part that he was shown. And for us, it's understanding what Neville said about the Bible being an allegory, about imagination is, the one shaping your consciousness. And to err on the side of love, to not think another negative thing about anyone, and to err on the side of love. And he was very big into this. And he would not meddle with the story. You go to the end, that's it. Don't think about it anymore. It's coming to you. Okay? That's it. And the rest of us, didn't get to hear from him about his 3-4 years of angsting and changing and learning about these laws. And for him, it was okay to just go to the well. Just keep going to the well. It's always there. It's always full. It's always getting it. Go to the well. Some people, no, I'm tired of that shit. Okay? I'm tired of going to the well. I want it all. And I want it all the time. And that's when you discover this victim bully state of consciousness that's at the core. And, Neville believed he was the best and that he was God walking on the earth. And for him, that it didn't matter to him if the thief came up and provided whatever it was, or, he got called into court for his wife's, kleptomania that she'd never done before, and this is how it played itself out for him to get his divorce. Well, that just tells me that he never looked at his ex-wife, or what would become his ex-wife, and thought better of her. And he wasn't interested in thinking better of anyone, really. Even his wife that he married. He didn't, try to heal her. Just go ahead, go have your operation. I know you'll be perfectly fine. But, you think you need an operation, babe? Okay. And let her walk her road, And that's not what the Bible's telling you. So, in a sense, Neville was shown we're all one. He talked about it. It was a lecture that he gave about having a vision of a man in a yoga position, and the man was made out of crystal, and the crystal exploded. And that's what we are. There's one man. Okay, and each crystal is the exact thing as the crystal it came from. It all came from the same place. Okay, that's us. And each one of us is a piece of that crystal. Everyone who says I am is a piece of that crystal. And so, all the pieces are getting put back together again. And no, men's horses can't do it. All the men's horses cannot put Humpty Dumpty back together again, because that's seen objectively. It has to be done subjectively. There's only one. The hardest thing for anyone to grasp is the law of one. It's hard to understand that you had a thought, or you were made aware of a belief, and people were made to make sure you see this belief while you live your life. And there's infinite amounts of beliefs. So for me, while Neville was my savior and my assignment, he didn't really explain how to live life subjectively. It was just accept it all. It's all God and man. And no, I'm not going to do that, because the Bible says for me to turn the other cheek and see them as better. Okay, and that's what I'm doing. And that's the golden rule. And, this idea that people can reject what you're sending them is silly. There's only one. Okay? What happens is the story must continue. Okay? So even though you may see your child as understanding of these laws, he's going to tell you, I don't believe in all that woo-woo. See you later, alligator. Okay. The story must continue. And so it's a never-ending story. It really is an ending. We're approaching it, but it's he has to go continue the story. You need to worry about your life and just keep sending him love. He is you going out to continue the journey. Your parents were you setting up the stage for your journey. And you got left a nut to crack. You turned within, you cried out, you trapped yourself in what you thought was an impossible trap. You found Neville, you found out about this world of subjective land, and you are now incorporating the 12 laws of mind. I cannot stress enough how important it is to see them as 12 laws. And it's about being your best and loving yourself. Because it doesn't matter what you say or do, as long as you feel like you're the best comes to you. Okay, you love yourself, you're the best. The best comes to you. I don't care if I'm a janitor. I'm the best freaking janitor in the world. Look how clean my floors are. I don't even have to think about it, man. Instead, I'm thinking about owning a fleet of janitor truck service trucks, or whatever. Whatever you want to be. But that's how it works for you on a continuing basis. And it sounds very simple, but the simple is effective, and that is why it works so well. You're the best. That's all there is to it. I'm the best writer. I'm the best vlogger. I'm the best cook. I'm the best housewife. I'm the best, dog walker. I'm the best lover. I'm the best messenger and gift giver. I am the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. And this comes back to the law of one, which is the first law. And it is the last law that anyone will really look at and do something about. Okay? It's the law of one. As long as you're bowing, oh, he's upset. Oh, I got to go change that so he's not upset anymore. No, you're bowing to his I am. He's upset. Oh, well, it'll all work out perfectly. I'm sure it will. Things always work out perfectly for me, so things always work out perfectly for him. It'll all work out. Have some chicken noodle soup. it's the one law that is so important because all the other laws just start flowing with you once you grasp that one. And you're not struggling to make, oh, do I go revise that or do I go imagine this or what do I do? It's supposed to be natural. And while you're learning it, it's not going to be natural. It's going to be, sputtering and, because you're learning. And that's okay. You'll get better at it. Practice makes perfect. You're already perfect at it. And you've been doing it perfectly and naturally, and it's been flowing. It is not the way you wanted it to flow. So then you learn about them, and now you're turning the boat around, So it takes a little, effort. And so the first thing you need to understand with going through your thoughts and beliefs is there is no one else. There's only me. It's all me. They're just me in another costume. Okay, telling me something about me. Now, the book of Exodus tells you about the 12 laws of mind. And it is represented as the 12 tribes of Israel. And it's Moses and the 12 tribes of Israel. And it's also Aaron and his breastplate with the 12 gems. And they represent the 12 laws of mind. So you need to understand each law. And you need to understand that the law, especially the one that Neville promoted, is, going to the well. It's the law of salvation. It's the law of liberty. It's the law of freedom, which indicates you're enslaved. You need saving. Okay, you need to be liberated. This means you're trapped in some way. So you go and use that law to save yourself. And the one law that everyone should really be focused on is the law of one. You imagine all the time. You do it naturally and you're a master at it. The idea is to see life subjectively so that when you're imagining, your response is automatic and you're walking as God. I'll give you an example of one who was waking but was not totally awake, understood it all, but was still not totally awake and was called, and that's Neville. Okay? Neville was called. The brothers told him it was because you could change states of consciousness so easily. That's why you got called. And he didn't really comprehend the law of one in the manner that the Bible is telling you that you need to look at it like. You turn the other cheek and see them as better. You imagine them as better. You know, it's automatic. If somebody comes into your world and is acting, you know, like a prick, you turn the other cheek, you turn away, and you know they're better than that. And how they change or exit your world is none of your business. It doesn't matter. That's how they are. Okay? They're playing a role. They're you in another costume. They may die, they may change, they may, you know, have an illness in the family in Canada and have to move to Vancouver. They're leaving your world. They still have a role to play and messages to give. They change because they're supposed to change to show you, you know, yeah, it works. So it's that kind of thing. One or the other must happen. They're you in another costume. It's the law of one. So Neville was not totally awake to this law, or he would have, you know, turned the other cheek and, you know, made his wife well so she wouldn't have to have an operation. He would have, you know, turned the other cheek and just gotten his tickets to that, you know, sold out theater. There's no thieves. Yeah, he knew the thief couldn't harm him, but, you know, he didn't look at his, what would be his ex-wife and raise her up. He didn't turn the other cheek and, you know, fill her up with love and bring her along like part of the one. He just focused on himself and his world, and, you know, my world's going to be like this. This is how you make your world like this. You know, and he was shown everything else. And then when he received the promise because he could change states of consciousness so easily. But we're living it. And the idea is you're supposed to understand that's you in another costume. That's the law of one. Okay? That is not Mary. That's you in another costume, playing a role, bringing you a message about you and what you believe. And you've been bombarded all your life with things that you wouldn't necessarily do or even think about or imagine. But you accepted them into your consciousness. Consciousness is the Father. Okay? He rules. Consciousness. What are you going to be conscious of? And you've been given this gift. The Son, imagination. And you can rip out the things that you don't want, and you can change the things you dislike, and you can make your life lovely. You know? And then there's divine love that binds it all together and presents it. You know? And it's about knowing you're the best. You're the best. You're perfect. Great things always come to you. You love yourself. Okay? Because there's only one. Everyone else is you in another costume. And for me, I've been saying that all my life, you know, but it didn't snap until I found Neville. And, you know, they're just you in another costume. Yeah. Don't pay any attention to them. They're just you in another costume bitching. You know, but I didn't understand really what that meant until I met Neville and started looking at it subjectively. There's only one. Everyone is, oh, what about free will? You have the free will to choose faith or doubt. That is the only free will you have. States of consciousness determine your responses. They're automatic. You can change your state of consciousness. So, therefore, changing your responses. So, it's how you respond. And you have to watch how you're responding. That's being the watcher. You know? And you're literally putting yourself back into the divine love, back into the whole. And you do this by focusing on I'm the best. If you focus on I'm the best, it doesn't matter what you're doing. The best way to do it will come to you. And you'll notice that it doesn't matter if it's making noodles or if it's doing Shaolin. It's doing karate. It's doing kung fu. It doesn't matter what it is. You will be compelled to do it the best. Okay.
师叔，你和他们正在吵架。师叔，你用湖面的弓打他们呀！
Okay. And that's how it will work. And you empty your mind by focusing on the task. I need to clean this floor. Okay, I'm going to scrub here in the corners, on the edges. And then I'm going to scrub this edge. And then before you know it, you're just in the groove. You're just scrubbing. And before you know it, you realize you've scrubbed the edges, but then you went into a circle. Okay? And you went into a circle. And this is how you're cleaning the floor, and it's the best way to clean the floor, and you're the best. So here you go, have a raise, you're the best. Here you go, have employee of the month, you're the best. And the best starts coming to you. And because there's only one, and you're a love magnet, those who cannot come into the light, who have a role to play in Zombieland, they're literally being repelled by you. They can't accept the love you're sending, okay, because they have a role to play. So they have to go, or they have to change. If you're seeing them as better, and they're in your world, they will change, okay? If there's in your intimate world, your husband, your children, your, whatever. But if it's coworkers or, people at work or in groups that you may be part of or neighbors, things like that, who are not an intimate part of your life, well, they may die. It may be, here, I've given my message, it's time to exit the stage. They may have an emergency, somewhere else and have to move away. They will move out of your world if they still have a message to give. There's only one. Okay, they don't have the free will to reject it. And they don't have a belief that, can't be accepted by you seeing them as better. They have a role to play in the mission, and they have to go back out to Zombieland. So they have to leave your world. So it's understanding that, the Bible is telling you all the time about, the men and the nations and how they hate on this and hate on that, and their thoughts and beliefs. And the way you get rid of the nations, the way you get rid of the ugly people, is to stop believing that. They're a manifestation of that. So you stop believing that, and they must change or go away. Okay? And you just refuse to believe anything but the good. And, be like little Nikki. It's great.
Release the good. Release the good. Yes, they're furry.
You know, so you stop and think about the common sense things you say and do, and you realize a lot of these laws you have already incorporated into your life. You know, it's all relative. Like attracts like. Birds of a feather flock together. You know, it's these things that are coming out of your mouth and have been all your life. And you stop and sit down and think about it and say, yeah, I have been saying that. Yeah, I do think that. And, you know, especially if you're seeing a repeat and you're finding yourself compelled to do things that you thought you had dealt with and ripped out, you know, whether it's a special person, whether it's getting money or something else, you need to go back. Okay, go back into your childhood, because your parents were you, okay, in another costume, setting the stage for you so that you could struggle with this nut, this belief, and defeat it. And so it's not something that happened because you met this person, and there's something deeper, there's something else going on. You know, my mother always complained about money and how we didn't have enough. And, you know, my father cheated on my mother cheated on my father. You know, whatever it is, now you go back and you fill them up with love and you thank them for showing you that. And I release you. Man, you were the best. You were the best. You know, and I don't believe that anymore. You're the best actor ever. You know, I was so convinced. You know, I remember when, but I don't believe that anymore. And it's constantly reminding yourself that that's me in another costume. And things always work out well for me, so things always work out well for them. You imagine for them what you would imagine for yourself. You see them as you see yourself. So, you know, the best. You're the best. If you want that third party to be gone forever and never, ever, ever have to think about it again, or have to think about lack of money or food or whatever, then you're the best. And the best always comes to you. Period. Period. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to have everything I have in my life. Man, I'm the best. You know? And you'll discover that, you know, the best comes to you. And this is the lesson of Kung Fu. It is the lesson described throughout the Bible. You know, it's what you're really supposed to do, is to raise everybody up. Not just say, okay, you go live in your world. You know, no, you're supposed to turn the other cheek and see them as better. And it's not just imagination, it's your consciousness. The consciousness is the Father. That is what you're going to see. That's what you believe. Now, you can go in your imagination and rip out a belief. You can go in your imagination and see others as better, and they will change or go away. You know, that's the power of you. But you have to recognize that they're not separate from you. Nothing is separate from you. And, you know, if I could encourage y'all to watch a movie, it would be Excalibur. It is a fantastic movie, 1981, Excalibur. And it says it all. Merlin is Arthur's imagination. And this movie was just brilliant. So you might want to check that out. But it's, you know, Arthur sees himself, he's the young Arthur, he sees himself as part of the whole. The same with David, right? And then he goes and lives in Objective Land. And then he gets very sick. And he wants, you know, to get well, and the land gets sick, and everybody gets sick, right? They're all sick. And it's his world. And so the Holy Grail is found. He drinks from it. He drinks in his imagination and realizes it's all him. He's the land and the land is him. And he goes and gets his armor on, heads off, you know, and as he rides, the land comes back to life. It's this kind of thing. So it's understanding you and the alligator are one. You know, the alligator is you and you are the alligator. It's you are the motorcycle and the motorcycle is you. It's all you, and it can only say yes to you. So if you're seeing something you don't like, that's you saying yes to you. You believe this. You know, and it's either time to, you know, no, this doesn't happen in my world. This doesn't happen, period. You know, no, I'm the best. The best always. No, I'm not going to believe that. He's the best. He would never do that. What the hell? Yeah. And really, you know, especially for third parties, you got to keep in mind the girl or the boy, the third party, is not the problem. It's never the problem. You shouldn't be jealous of them or anything else. You know, the problem is he's thinking about doing that. And then it becomes, you know, why is he thinking about doing that? Because I think I'm not good enough, that I think I'm not the best. No, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Whatever it is, I'm the best duster, I'm the best cook, I'm the best gardener, I'm the best driver, I'm the best. So start thinking you're the best and that everyone else is the best. And it just starts overflowing and it flows out. And it really starts becoming a lot easier. And it's just like talking to your dog. You're the best dog ever. You little shit, I love you so much. You're the one. You the dog. You know, it's the same thing when you're talking to anybody. So I hope this helps. Hope it clarifies. And if you need some more, you know, let me know. Drop it in the notes below and we'll make that a moment with Mimi. Blessings to you. And thank you. Thank you for being you.